Everyone makes mistakes, be it gods or humans. If I were to mention an example of their mistakes, then here it is. Gods made humans. Humans believe in gods. Well, at least trusting gods in ancient times was a mistake, because as gods we had guys like Zeus, Loki, Poseidon, and ample more. The mistakes made were not rectified by throwing people into jails, dungeons, or by hanging themselves. It was worse. Way worse. The worst part here is that the gods punished people just for the fun of it as well. By now, you might have guessed the topic of our video today. Top 10 worst punishments in the ancient world. Before we dive deeper into it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such terrific videos. Let's begin. Let's be fair, if there was a time warp tomorrow and we all got transported into the world of classical myths, most of us would probably die horrendous and peculiar deaths. Yeah, I know, we belong to hell, especially because Zeus must be hating us by now. Number 10. Procrustas Iron Bed. Procrustes was considered to be the rogue son of Poseidon, who kept an inn between Athens and Eleusis. Now, whoever was to enter this place to stay was given an iron bed. Travelers frequently stopped at this place to rest for the night, and so the devil business of Procrustes bloomed. The person who slept on the iron bed was trapped by him and was tortured. If the one sleeping was too short for the bed, he would stretch them to the appropriate length, and if they were too tall, he would chop them down to the right size. The crazy catch here is that no one would ever fit into the bed. But hopefully, this psychopath was then killed by Theseus, the son of Poseidon and Aegeus, who was traveling to Athens to defeat Minotaur and stopped at the inn. He tricked Procrustes in such a way that he was killed on his own iron bed. Number 9. The Sphinx. This has to be the most famous one of all. The Sphinx, as most of you must be knowing, was a creature with the head of a woman, the body of a lion, and wings of a bird. It terrorized the city of Thebes for a pretty long time until Oedipus arrived. The Sphinx would ask riddles to anyone who wished to enter the city of Thebes, and those people who failed to answer it were eaten up by the monster. Oedipus was the one who solved the riddle of the Sphinx, causing the alienish creature to jump off the cliff to death. Seriously, this dude, the Sphinx, had wings, and they have just one job, that is to fly, and it did not use them. How ridiculous. But anyways, it must be cursed or something. Number 8. The Brazen Bowl Torture. The Brazen Bowl was basically a torture and execution device in ancient Greece that was gifted by Perillus to King Phalaris, who was known for his cruelty. The Brazen Bowl was a metallic device in a bronze bowl that was hollow from inside and had a door on the side of its body for a person to fit into the beast. The criminal would be shut inside the beast, and fire would be lit under the belly of the bowl. The whole device would act like an oven and heat the insides up, eventually roasting the victim. The worst part is that the screams of the agony of the victims were channeled into small musical pipes that were present in the nostril of the bowl, which resulted into a bellowing sound that was enjoyed by the onlookers. Phalaris actually tricked and shut Perillus in his own invention, and worst is, he did not let the guy die in it, but instead the dumbass removed him half dead from the bowl and threw him off the cliff so that he doesn't jinx the invention. Bro, he literally made the bowl. Number 7. Blood Eagle. This is one of the most barbaric practices in the ancient world that will make you squirm. Blood Eagle was practiced by making the person lay in a prone position, and also he or she was kept alive as their back was sliced open. Their ribs were detached from their spine, and their lungs pulled through the opening to form a pair of bloody wings. How the hell would someone even stay conscious for so long? Also, this was practiced by none other than the Vikings, the most brutal ones. Number 6. Flaying. This sadistic method was also known as skinning, which was perhaps one of the most painful methods of torture. The victim to this practice was first stripped of their clothes and bound to anything to stop the movement. No, guys, this is not going to be kinky. After this, the executioner would start by peeling the skin off the individual's body by using a sharp blade. It was often started with the face, as the person would be conscious enough to experience all of it and acknowledge the pain. Sometimes, to make the skin-removing sick-ass practice easier, they'd even boil it to soften the skin. Number 5. The Roman Candle. So here, the Roman guy Nero was nothing but an ass. He hated Christians in every way and didn't give a damn if they rebelled against the state or not, as all of them were criminals and toys for him. He picked any random Christian, and the victim was used as candle or torch for Nero's garden parties. Man is literally like, hey, it's my son's birthday, bring in the Christian. Nothing happened, bring in the Christian. I'm gay, bring in the Christian. No, he literally lit him. Man is loyal with his virtues. The victims were tied on stakes and nailed into the ground. A flammable liquid was poured on them, and then they were set alight. Number 4. Scorching the insides. In this method of torture, molten gold was forcefully poured down the throats of the victims, and this would lead to severe damage to distal organs, blistering of the lungs, and then eventually death. Number 3. Impalement. This grotesque method involves impaling the person with a sharp, long, and greased stake for the crime they have committed. It is done in 2 ways: transverse and longitudinal. For longitudinal, the person was positioned above the spike, which was inserted part way up their rear privates. Due to gravity, the spike would run through them, avoiding the major organs and exiting through their shoulders or neck. For transverse, it would be pierced through their torso or from the back. Number 2. Rat torture. Doesn't it seem that the rats have been our experimental model since forever? Earlier, they were used to torture us. Now, we torture them. The rat was placed in a cage and against the prisoner's abdomen. Then the cage was lit from outside so that in order to escape, the rat would gnaw into the human flesh and destroy its insides and cause terrible agony to the person, and thus making this method one of the most psychotic forms of torture. Number 1. Severed nose. It's pretty much clear from the name itself that noses were cut down. Whoever committed a crime was to be prepared for their nose to be chopped off if they were caught, and then thrown into dungeons for a pretty good time. Worst part of this torture is that everyone would know that the particular individual is a criminal and would be treated as one for their whole life. Also, they look like Voldemort, which means super ugly and a loser. After hearing about all this shit, rather than dying like this, one could rather jump off the cliff on their own, slit their nerves, or hang themselves instead. We even have a better option. Don't participate in crimes and don't be a Christian. Just kidding, I know, it's really satanic that these practices even took place. For crimes like rapes, I definitely suggest these tortures. But these methods were applied even on innocents, which wasn't fair. But who can even change the history now? With this, we come to an end. And if you have information on more such punishments, please let us know in the comment section below. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such amazing videos. Until next time, bye!